There's a pair of brown eyes, classic Shane McGowan and the Pogue song performed by Meadhbh Walsh. And we are delighted to be joined on the phone right now by a fabulous singer and rising star from the village of Meadhbh in North Cork, Meadhbh Walsh. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Patrick. How are you keeping?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. And thanks for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate your time. What a great version of A Pair of Brown Eyes. I know that comes from your new album that you just released, Unforgotten. Tell us about the new album and about A Pair of Brown Eyes.
Yeah, so my new album is Unforgotten, and I started working on it last year, kind of mid-2021. And it's my second album, and the whole idea about the album was that I'd come up with maybe about 15 tracks of songs that were meant to be from Irish history, and it's a mixture of love songs and kind of songs of rebellion and different kind of songs. And just the whole idea of the album was to acknowledge history in Ireland and a peaceful approach to moving forward. And the message about it is just to keep the love of Irish music alive. So so the reason why A Pair of Brown Eyes is in the album is because I just thought it was an absolutely beautiful song written by Shane McGowan, and it's a beautiful song, and I just think the words in it are written so well by him, and I think the original that they recorded was just a really influential song to me, and I thought it would just be a lovely song to contribute to my Unforgotten album. So I hope you enjoyed that one.
It was fabulous.
And,
and of course, Shane McGowan is one of the greatest songwriters in Irish music history as far as I'm concerned. He's definitely up there near the top. You can't go wrong with any of the songs that he has written over the years. Your music you started at such a young age performing music. First of all, how did you get started in music, and what has been the success that you've reached so far? What has been the reason for that? You have skyrocketed your success. You're an absolute rising star. How has all that come about at such a young age? You have made such a name for yourself.
Yeah. So I suppose starting from the start, since I was about 2 or 3 years old, I'd say, I just have always loved to sing. And the biggest thing to me has always been Irish music, even at that young age. My parents always loved Irish music. I wouldn't say we're a very big performing music family, but my family have always loved Irish music and just listened to it, and even American country music. There's been a lot of different genres that have been played in my house since I was very small. So it's just a big music house. So my father and mother are self-employed, and he works in the building industry. So over the years, we've had different people come to the house, and we're also farmers. So anytime somebody would come into our door, I'd nearly be put on the seat or standing on the table, something like that, singing. And so that is kind of where I got my confidence from a very young age as well. So I suppose I was exposed to people and seeing what it's like to perform in a crowd, always small crowds, but it was just the confidence aspect of that. So as I grew older, every Christmas I'd ask for something instrumental for Christmas or my birthday and things, and after about 10 years I ended up with a big massive room of instruments and that I could probably only half play. And but yeah, so as I've grown older, just the singing has really become my thing, and it just became my thing. I suppose in our house every person has their thing, whether it's football or hurling or something like that, and the music was always my thing, and I always held on to it, especially in a family with brothers and sisters and different competitions and all that. So it was just something I really loved, and it always kept me happy. And so I was always listening to Luke Kelly. I remember I got my first ever CD was The Best of Luke Kelly. It was an album by him, and I used to play it on my CD player when I was small, and I'd say I probably never changed that CD, and every single song that was on it I learned back to back. And I think that was a very influential part of my music and my singing. And then as I grow older, YouTube and all those internet all the things on the internet I could access to find more songs and music, and I probably learned a lot more contemporary style music, and also learned about all these other Irish artists that I hadn't heard of before. So there was just some wonderful wonderful composers as well I'd come across. So, and Irish female artists like Mary Black, Dolores Keane, Dolores O'Riordan, all these wonderful musicians. So as I got older, into my teens, I finally took up the guitar when I was 13, and that became just something I absolutely loved doing, just playing simple chords to my singing, and it was lovely to be able to accompany myself. When I was 14, I started doing gigs in Killarney with one of my friends in County Kerry. I think we actually probably went into, I'd say, about 15, 20 pubs that day. We were busking before this, but we said we wanted a real job. And so, yeah, we'd go into all the pubs and we gave in our names. We said, yeah, we'd love a job here. And I remember one man said, are ye that good? And I remember I said, oh, we're the best. And I don't think we had ever actually done an actual gig before that. It was all it was all just to try get in there. So I think about 2 pubs got back to us, and I suppose that's where it started.
Well,
And it was
confidence is the most important thing when you're representing yourself and trying to get gigs, right? So you didn't lack in that for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, fake it till you make it type thing. And so yeah, it was a wonderful experience. Had great crack. My parents were very supportive. They came to a lot of the gigs as well. And yeah, so probably from the ages of 14 to maybe 17, I'd say from about the age of 16 onwards, I went out on my own and started doing gigs by myself and music. And that was really where my confidence spiraled, I think. Just I suppose before that, I had never really thought too much about Irish music. I used to play all different types of music, as I always have. But I really, I suppose, put the boot down with the Irish music by the age of 16, because I saw the reaction and how much it meant to so many people, young and old, when Irish music and folk music and all that is played. And people really do care about it and want to hear it. Whether they only know a few songs, they will love those few songs and probably know most of the words. And I think that's the big unified thing in Irish music. There's some songs that just, no matter what kind of gig it is, if you sing a few certain Irish songs, everybody will join in, and it's just a wonderful thing to witness. So I really saw this when I was doing those gigs when I was younger, and I said I would love to keep doing this. I would love to do this. So yeah, I just kept doing my thing and did a few weddings and funerals and all the things that come with being a musician in Ireland. I feel like when you're into that kind of thing, you end up doing every sort of occasion. The lockdown happened, and I had a Facebook page made probably the year before the lockdown, but I really did not post on it very often. It was just, I just made it to kind of, I didn't really think too much about it. But when the lockdown happened, I had a lot of time in my hands, and I was actually in my Leaving Cert year, which is your final exams before you head to college in Ireland. And so it was a busy year for me, but I also had a lot of time to spare. And this was in March when we got into the lockdown, and I was meant to be sitting my Leaving Cert probably in the following 2 months after that, or sorry, 3 months. So I put up a few videos. I put up a video. I remember I sang the song Joe McDonnell. I sang a few Luke Kelly songs, and I just put up a few separate videos, and out of nowhere, the likes started flowing in, and the comments and the tagging and the sharing, and it got a wonderful response, and it was amazing. I was kind of gobsmacked, to be honest, because it was nothing I took that seriously or anything like that. So as time went on, a few weeks passed, and I posted a few more videos, and people were asking me, will you ever come on and do a live stream? And I remember at the time I was thinking, oh, how could I possibly do that? That's I'd be kind of a private person, so I wouldn't imagine that I would have enjoyed a live stream, if you get me, because live on a screen, what if I say the wrong thing? What if it's kind of intimidating, I suppose, but I had the time to spare, and I said, okay, I'll give it a go anyway and see how it goes. So I went on the first night, and I actually had a great night. I really enjoyed it, and people were so nice in the comment section, and it was really welcoming, and I actually felt very comfortable doing it. And as time went on, I was doing them pretty much weekly, and all throughout. And since then, I've been coming on very often, doing those live streams. I haven't been coming on as often since the lockdown has become way lessened, and we're nearly to normality now. But I still come on. Over that time period, I went from probably 1 to 2,000 followers, and it's multiplied up to 70,000 now. So my followers have just gone from nearly nothing to massive in that time. So it was very gradual though over the last year and a half, 2 years. So it was, the very most of them are just people all around the world that have an Irish connection or just want to hear Irish music. And I suppose that's the thing that unifies everyone. And every week that I go on the live, people are commenting where they're from, and they're from all over different parts of America and Canada and Ireland and England and all other countries as far as Australia and New Zealand. So it's just a wonderful thing that I never would have ever imagined to happen. So due to those live streams, I was going live for a while. I decided I'm going to make an album. So I came out with my album Off by Heart, which is a 12-track album of songs. It's a mixture of Irish folk songs from all my favourite artists, and the whole idea was just to start with something I was very comfortable with and sing the songs that I know off by heart. So I did that, and that was a lovely success and a great way to start off my little career in the music. And since then, after coming out with Unforgotten, which is my 15-track album, which consists of immigration songs and songs of Irish history and also some love songs. And so yeah, that's kind of been my journey so far. To sum it up, I've been really enjoying it so much, and it's just absolutely wonderful to be able to just share the love of Irish music. That's the absolute goal here, and I feel like I'm really doing that, and it is a dream come true in many ways. It's something I would have always have loved to have done, and I'm over the moon that I have completed this much of it because of the lockdown. So I'm very grateful for this lockdown to have brought this opportunity to me.
With your massive following on social media, and you mentioned over 70,000 likes on Facebook and followers, and your 2 albums, you've done all this while attending college. How have you managed to handle all of that and the pressures of going to college?
Yes. So I suppose for me anyway, it was actually a godsend, the timing of everything, because right before the lockdown happened, I was in my Leaving Cert, as I've said, and I was going through a lot of thinking, what do I want to do with my life when I get older? I knew I wanted to go to college, and I love college, and it's something I've always wanted to do because there's certain things that I suppose matter so much to me besides the music as well that I would be able to achieve if I went to college. So I'm studying social science in UCC in University College Cork. My idea was, okay, this is a course, and it could take me into a few different routes. And a few of the options I thought about, this is all before the lockdown, was music therapy. I could go into primary teaching. You could do so many different things out of it. So, and it was an all-rounder course. I said I'd put that down the CEO and see where it takes me. This whole time, music was always the big thing. It was my big distraction. It was always the big worry. Will she ever put the head down to the books and not think about music for a bit? So that was fine. I obviously started posting during the lockdown things. So that was a nice little hobby and distraction for me besides the study of the Leaving Cert. And then once that Leaving Cert passed, I went into my first year then so yeah, this is when all the chaos starts. So it's not really. It's since then, college has been very much blended or remote learning from home. So at the moment it's still kind of blended, but a lot of it's on campus. So during the week I'm quite busy with the college, but over the last 2 years it's been very much workable for me, because the music is still very much a lovely hobby to have. It's a wonderful thing that I like to do at the weekends and concentrate on, and during my free time during the week is when I do my bit of recording with Brendan and Little Dylan Studios in Killarney. So that's where I suppose I did the shift of, okay, you can make this a hobby and focus on your college. So that's what I've been doing now, and I've only 1 more year left of this, and then after that we'll see where the music takes me. It's been perfect timing, I'll say that much, between lockdown and college and music. I've been able to do both, which is wonderful.
That's great. Now, you were on the cover of the 2022 annual edition of Irish Music Magazine with your photo alongside Christy Moore, as well as a lovely piece about you and your music in the magazine. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. I suppose, yeah. I did an interview with Marianne, and she was absolutely lovely to talk to, and we did a 2-page insert in the Irish Music magazine. It was absolutely mind blowing to be right next to Christy Moore, waving at him on the front cover. It was a lovely experience, and it was just crazy to look at my face in a magazine and think, okay, this is where we're at this stage. Yeah, and it was just lovely. It was lovely because it was just lovely to be able to talk about the music and the Irish music, and yeah, have my own little few pages alongside some of my most influential artists to date. And yeah, it was an absolutely lovely experience, and I can't wait to see what other things are ahead of me in that sense. It was lovely, and I have it in a little frame at home and everything.
As you should. And during the lockdowns, you talked about your Facebook Live events. You covered music from all the legends in Irish folk music during that time, and you did them very well. I know you did a special one on the Dubliners and the Furies, and you've also done some Rebel music as well. And I know you enjoy singing the Rebel songs. Have you any plans to record an album of Rebel music at some point?
Great question. I suppose the whole idea with the Irish music that I like to do is kind of cover all corners. I suppose in my albums I'd like to acknowledge a few Rebel songs and songs of remembrance and immigration and things, but I don't think I need to make a whole album of Rebel songs to acknowledge history. I think it's nice, like in my own Forgotten album, I suppose that covered a few what I would call Rebel songs or songs of Irish history. And I like to sing the more peaceful ones because I feel like they really sum up our culture and the things that have happened in a peaceful manner. And that's the goal here for me anyway, as a young person, to sing Irish music in a peaceful manner, to acknowledge history and keep it alive. Remember the good and the bad.
And that's a great outlook to have. The history of Ireland is explained through the music over the years, and it's great that being such a young artist like yourself and a rising star, that you are continuing that tradition for the future generations to love and learn about their Irish music.
Thanks very much. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to be able to do, and as a young person, I think all kinds of Irish music should be acknowledged and played, and but whether it's trad, whether it's Rebel songs, whether it's Oscuelga, whether it's any sort of music, I think there's so many elements of Irish music that can be used and utilised and kept alive, and even Sean-Nós as well. There's all these elements to Irish music. It's hard to even account for them all. Yeah, I think it's great to be able to apply those to albums along with contemporary music and all those things, because the one thing I've noticed is young people and old people and people of all ages do love Irish music, and it is very much alive, and it's a matter of keeping it that way, I suppose, for the future.
Right. Now, if you could record a duet with any Irish artists, who would it be with, and what song would you like to sing?
Oh wow, that is a hard question, because there's so many artists that I absolutely love. If I was to sing and do a duet with another artist, I would easily list about 10 out to you right now. But I suppose the first one that would come to my head would be Davy Arthur from the Furies. He has some beautiful songs, and yeah, I love his version of Steal Away.
Well, that would be.
I suppose that was one of the, because I've been listening to that song a lot lately, and I just keep singing it and adding harmonies to it, and it's one that that would definitely be one song. It's a song about immigration and trying to get out of a city, as he says, whether it's any city, it could be Dublin, it could be Belfast, it could be any city, and it's to get away from violence, and it's kind of an anti violence type thing. So I just find that song really beautiful. So yeah.
That would be a great selection and a great choice. Now that restrictions have been lifted in Ireland, will you be doing a tour? Will you be promoting your music, or are you focusing for the next year or so to finish your college? What will you be doing in the future?
So I have some very exciting things coming up. I'm not doing, I don't have a tour of my own planned at the moment, but that is definitely on the cards in the future. But at the moment I'm focusing on trying to write some original stuff and planning some future music, getting my last year of college finished up, put it to bed. Yeah, hopefully then get some live stuff going for myself, and maybe a bit of travelling as well. I suppose what I was going to say is I have some very interesting artists that I'll be joining for a few concerts very soon, and I'll be posting about that on my Facebook and my Instagram and on my social media, and I'll make it very aware for anybody that wants to attend.
Beautiful. And what's the best way for our listeners to get connected with you and to purchase your CDs?
So yeah, I have links to my website, which is meadhbhwalshmusic.com. And I have links set on my Facebook and my Instagram and all my other social media. And the way to buy my music and to support me in whatever way you want, if you like the music, it's on my website. And you can order my CDs. I have my Off by Heart album available, and I also have my newest Unforgotten album available to purchase as well. And hopefully in the future, which I definitely will be doing, is getting my music on the online platforms, which is Spotify and iTunes and all that. So yeah, it's all a work in progress, and I'm learning bit by bit as I go on. But it's all very exciting, and I can't wait to see what's the future holds for my music.
And nor can we. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Maeve. You are an absolute star in Irish music. And again, thank you for continuing the tradition of singing classic Irish songs and introducing the young folks in Ireland to the music and to the history of the music. What you're doing is fabulous, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Thanks very much, Patrick. It was an absolute pleasure.
Tell us about the song before we go, Leaving Nancy, that is on your Unforgotten album.
Yes, beautiful song. It's written by Eric Bogle. It's a beautiful love song about leaving. It's about a man having to leave and immigrate. It's a very bittersweet song because it's a song about love, and it also acknowledges immigration. And I felt like it was very suitable to add to the Unforgotten album, which covers one of the dark themes of our history, which is immigration. So one of my favourites, there's many great versions of this song, but one of my favourites is by the Furies. Yes, it's one of my favourite songs of all time, I would say, and it's just a pleasure to sing. So yeah, I hope you enjoy my version of Leaving Nancy.
I'm sure we will. We've been speaking with Meadhbh Walsh, singer and musician and songwriter as well, and rising star from County Cork. Meadhbh, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to play Leaving Nancy now. Again, thanks a million for taking time to join us today.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Patrick.
Thanks, Meadhbh. This is Leaving Nancy from the album Unforgotten from Meadhbh Walsh on the Irish Music Cafe.
In comes the train and the whole platform shakes. It stops with a shudder